Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The learned profession that is mastered by graduate study in a law school and that is responsible for the judicial system. He studied law at Yale. A rule or body of rules of conduct inherent in human nature and essential to or binding upon human society. The collection of rules imposed by authority. Civilization presupposes respect for the law. The force of policemen and officers. The law came looking for him. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. A generalization that describes recurring facts or events in nature. The laws of thermodynamics. Legal document setting forth rules governing a particular kind of activity. There is a law against kidnapping. The learned profession that is mastered by graduate study in a law school and that is responsible for the judicial system. A rule or body of rules of conduct inherent in human nature and essential to or binding upon human society. The collection of rules imposed by authority. The great problem for jurisprudence to allow freedom while enforcing order. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. The force of policemen and officers. The force of policemen and officers. Maintain the security of by carrying out a patrol. The force of policemen and officers. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. A generalization that describes recurring facts or events in nature. One of the three professions traditionally believed to require advanced learning and high principles. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. The creation of something in the mind. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The act of becoming pregnant. Fertilization of an ovum by a spermatozoan. Request for a sum of money. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. The act of gathering something together. A publication containing a variety of works. A system of components assembled together for a particular purpose. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. A group of persons together in one place. The social act of assembling. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. The act of accumulating. An increase by natural growth or addition. Finance. Profits that are not paid out as dividends but are added to the capital base of the corporation. Several things grouped together or considered as a whole. The act of gathering something together. Of a law, having legal validity. Group of people willing to obey orders. A public force is necessary to give security to the rights of citizens. Physical energy or intensity. He hit with all the force he could muster. A put-out of a base runner who is required to run. The put-out is accomplished by holding the ball while touching the base to which the runner must advance before the runner reaches that base. The shortstop got the runner at second on a force. To cause to do through pressure or necessity, by physical, moral or intellectual means. She forced him to take a job in the city. Force into or from an action or state, either physically or metaphorically. Urge or force, a person, to an action, constrain or motivate. Move with force. Impose urgently, importunately, or inexorably. She forced her diet fads on him. Squeeze like a wedge into a tight space. A unit that is part of some military service. He sent Caesar a force of 6,000 men. One possessing or exercising power or influence or authority. May the force be with you. An act of aggression, as one against a person who resists. He may accomplish by craft in the long run what he cannot do by force and violence in the short one. Take by force. A group of people having the power of effective action. He joined forces with a band of adventurers. A powerful effect or influence. The force of his eloquence easily persuaded them. Do forcibly, exert force. Don't force it. Physics, the influence that produces a change in a physical quantity. Force equals mass times acceleration. Group of people willing to obey orders. The department responsible for hiring and training and placing employees and for setting policies for personnel management. An agency responsible for ensuring obedience to the laws. A belief, or system of beliefs, accepted as authoritative by some group or school. Any personal belief about how to live or how to deal with a situation. Self-indulgence was his only philosophy. The rational investigation of questions about existence and knowledge and ethics. Law. A document that states some contractual relationship or grants some right. Law. A document that states some contractual relationship or grants some right. Write an instrumental score for. Any of various devices or contrivances that can be used to produce musical tones or sounds. The means whereby some act is accomplished. My greed was the instrument of my destruction. A person used by another to gain an end. Law. A document that states some contractual relationship or grants some right. The semantic role of the entity, usually inanimate, that the agent uses to perform an action or start a process. Address a legal document to. A device that requires skill for proper use. Equip with instruments for measuring, recording, or controlling. Law. A document that states some contractual relationship or grants some right. Law. An explanation of the fundamental reasons, especially an explanation of the working of some device in terms of laws of nature. The principles of internal combustion engines. Rule of personal conduct. A rule or law concerning a natural phenomenon or the function of a complex system. The principle of the conservation of mass. A basic generalization that is accepted as true and that can be used as a basis for reasoning or conduct. Their principles of composition characterized all their works. A basic truth or law or assumption. The principles of democracy. A rule or standard especially of good behavior. A man of principle. A law describing sound changes in the history of a language. A law that is believed to come directly from God. The body of rules applied to commercial transactions, derived from the practices of traders rather than from jurisprudence. Civil law. A law established by following earlier judicial decisions. A system of jurisprudence based on judicial precedents rather than statutory laws. Common law originated in the unwritten laws of England and was later applied in the United States. Civil law. A law established by following earlier judicial decisions. A system of jurisprudence based on judicial precedents rather than statutory laws. An example that is used to justify similar occurrences at a later time. A subject mentioned earlier, proceeding in time. Proceeding in time, order, or significance.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.